All right, so this is going to be a different kind of video. This go around, I'm going to take and just kind of give some general YouTube advice. I've had numerous people taking either in the comments or they've reached out to me via my email or Instagram account and the messages over there talking about they want to start a YouTube channel. Do I have any kind of advice? I've had a couple people have want to start a reaction channel. First off, I'm going to take and go into reactions because it's what I've been doing the most. I do have multiple channels. One with over 3,000 subscribers. If I put more work into it, I'd have a lot more subscribers. But this, working out the way it has, is kind of taking time away from that. So, first off, I don't care what any of the YouTube videos that you take and watch from gurus, you don't have to immediately know a niche. You just don't. Now, granted, it's good if you know what niche you want to start in YouTube. Like that's awesome. But a lot of times people want to start YouTube channels and they don't know what to take and do, so they just don't start a YouTube channel. If you want to start a YouTube channel, start a YouTube channel. And I don't care if it's gaming, I don't care if it's vlogging, I don't care if it's reacting, I don't care what it is. Taking and reading newspaper articles or articles that are online just to take and get content out there. Because a lot of times the biggest hurdle for a lot of people is actually getting comfortable behind the camera. The only truly way to do that is to put yourself out there. For a lot of folks, that's scary. For me, when I first started my first videos doing beer reviews, I was terrified because I was like, oh, I sound like a dorky ass country boy. And while I still sound like a dorky ass country boy, I'm comfortable with it. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I can project. You don't automatically have to have a niche. You just don't. I would even take and say, before you actually put anything on, or as you're putting stuff on your channel, doesn't matter what you take and do, even if you don't have a niche, take and watch stuff that interests you. And I'm not talking about big channels. I'm talking about watch channels 150, 200, 300, 450, 1,000 subscribers. Take and get entrenched in their community. So that way, as you're taking and actually watching, you're taking and also being a regular contributor to somebody else's, number one, their view count. But also, number two, most YouTube channels that are small, they're going to want to take and try to actually talk to, or at least comment back on people's comments on their videos. So doing that, you become a regular person, even as you're trying to build your channel. A lot of times you'll take and get multiple people that are subscribed to them also see you multiple times, and eventually people get curious and they'll check. So that's one way I'd say to take and actually, as you're taking and figuring out if you don't have a niche, to take and actually maybe get some subs past your family and friends, because let's all face it, as much as we love our family and friends, they're not always the most reliable viewers. Just how it works. I don't know why. Yay, you can do this, yeah, and then they just like, all right, cool, whatever. 2-3 videos tops, and that's probably what you're going to take and get from most of your family and friends. And I don't mean to be discouraging in that tone, because a lot of folks, those 3-4 views as you start out, even being from family and friends, it makes you feel good. It's a sort of validation, and I think that's one thing that psychologically for everybody that gets on YouTube that starts to take and get any kind of growth, is that people watching your channel and also maybe commenting, that validation. But getting the validation outside of that, to take and actually do that, you're going to have to, and I recommend watching multiple different types of videos and multiple different niches that you're interested in. I think it's paramount also, if you can catch one or more lives, it's preferably more than one, live streams of these channels in these niches. Like I said, and they get smaller, because you go to the bigger ones, and a lot of times you're going to get lost in the shuffle. That's just how it works. Nothing against them. I've only got 6,000-9,000 subscribers. For a lot of folks, it's like, oh my god, look how many you got. And for me, it's like, I'm happy where I'm at. I know what it's like not having anything, but I'm also looking at the top tier, and people are like, shit, no, always push yourself. But I'm not at top tier. But even at 70,000 subscribers, I've got videos that a lot of times I answer what I can that's feasible within the time frame of a day. And there's a lot of stuff that pours in after that either I can't comment to, or I don't even take and see to heart. And for me, as a content creator that knows what it's like being small and trying to grow a community, that sucks. But as you're growing that community, reach out to different, take a look at different niches. If you don't have a niche, look at different niches and stuff like that. If they do live streams, if you're able to catch the live streams, be in that live stream in the comments section, because what happens a lot of times then is you wind up taking and they wind up getting on a subject within that niche. You take and comment within the parameters of the live stream. Somebody winds up checking you out. I've got people in the crafting community. I've got people in the beer review community. I've got people in the reaction community. I've got people in like varietal community, gaming community that are part of my community. It's because starting out, even doing beer reviews, I figured out, and I think a lot of people figure this out. You've got to take and have people from multiple different niches, especially when you're starting out, to take and get a core base, because a core base of subscribers and viewers, because going from 4 to 5 to 6 to 10 to 15 to 20, it all helps. Every bit of it helps take and put you in front of people's eyes. The other thing is, unless you're doing specifically stuff that is trending, even within a niche, you might do 50 videos before YouTube's algorithm is able to properly file you and you see any kind of traction. So if you're putting out 2 videos a month, you're looking at 2 years. With the algorithm, you want to take and put out 2, if possible 3 videos a week, and that's just so you can, number one, it takes and gets that snowball effect. You're able to take and it shows consistency, number one, but number two, it also puts in more stuff for the algorithm to know where to classify you. Now, granted, there are channels that start off, they post twice a month, and they blow up big. A lot of times that is strictly due to the niche that they're in. They might be hecka talented. I'm not going to take that away from these channels, but a lot of times it's the niche that they're in. There's certain niches that you can do twice a month, but if you put out good content, you're going to take and grow. Always strive to take and improve the quality of your content. Always be searching. I took a break this weekend from doing any kind of YouTube related stuff as far as recording or editing. What I did do was I looked through people in my niche, I looked through people in other niches to see what's been working for them, where they started at, where they're at now, average view counts. I look at all that kind of stuff. I also took and looked at videos of top YouTube content creators, like breakdowns that tried to explain what helped them get to where they are. Now, a lot of them, Mr. Beast, PewDiePie, and others, have been on the platform since its inception. The thing about it is, though, it wasn't until they really started figuring out, okay, I can do this to improve, I can do this to improve, I can do this to improve. This editing technique right here will help. Taking and doing this as far as the plot line of whatever video I'm doing, that'll take and help. And it takes time, but there are things that you can watch that can actually help you, that can take and give you noticeable gains, and search that stuff out. Like on a constant basis. If this is something you want to do, search it out. Find that stuff. Start applying it. And if you don't have the best of equipment, do what you can with it until you can get better, and then you can make the kind of videos that you envision making for your channel, because that's the only way you're going to have any kind of gradual success factor as far as in your eyes. If you're as hard on yourself as I am on myself, I'm always looking to improve. Like I've got to take and spray this chair right here. It's got to take and be oiled. It squeaks way too much. If you have a niche, look what even before your first video, look at what other people within the niche that you're going to be taking and doing videos for. Look at what they're doing. Look at some of their top videos. See if there's anything that you can take and apply to your videos. and try that. Subject matter, the top stuff and niches, even as a small channel, you're not going to take and get a million views, 100,000 views starting off. However, if you get 20 views, you're doing a lot better than other channels that have got the first video. Even if you get 5 views, that's better than a lot of people. Because a lot of times they get 1 view and it's from them after they take and actually post it and watch it on YouTube. And like, all right, cool, I hope other people watch it. So that's that as far as YouTube is concerned. If you want to start a YouTube channel, I don't care what niche you decide to go in. If you're going to take and do it, make sure you set yourself up for as much success as possible. There's no two ways about that. Just look at what others doing. And the other thing is, I will say this, my last piece of advice as far as doing YouTube for a specific niche, or even before you have a niche, be authentic. Like, you might think you're boring. If there's parts of you, if there's parts of your personality that your friends or other people relate to and like a lot, maybe turn that up a notch or two. You're not taking and being anything fake. Don't emulate somebody else so much, but you're not being fake. Be authentic. There's no other way to take and do it, in my opinion. Granted, there's a lot of folks on YouTube who take and put on airs and stuff like that. But if you're going to put on some kind of airs, make sure it's a personality air. Like, you take and turn up a notch. The sarcasm, turn up a notch. The jokes, turn up a notch. The insightfulness, turn up a notch. The analytical mind that you've got. Turn those pieces up and tweak as needed as far as what your personality is like. So that way you don't lose the authenticity of who you are on camera, because more people are going to relate to that than not. There's a lot of reactors and other channels that I watch, a whole lot, and there's tips and stuff, or there's stuff that I see them do as far as editing, or maybe even the type of videos that I might try to emulate. But personality wise, there's only one of them. They're successful for a reason. I can put my take on what they're doing with my personality, but I can't replicate what they're doing. It's as simple as that. If you want to take and do reactions, now this is for people strictly that want to take and do reactions. If you want to do reactions, before you start doing them, take and go through YouTube and look at the different kinds of reactions that you've got. Because you've got people that do reactions to anime, people that do reactions to culture like I'm doing, which I've started branching out because I started music. But you got people that do music reactions, you got people that do movie reactions. The music reactions, you've got people that do all kinds of different, like comedy reactions. That's specifically what they look at as comedy. You got people that look at like TV shows. People that, it's a wide breadth of stuff that you can react to. Top 10s, compilations, like there's a ton. No one thing going in. No one thing going in. And it doesn't matter if it's taking a video off of somebody else's channel or if it's something that's widely known. You're always at risk of running into trouble, copyright-wise. I've seen multiple comments on my videos telling me, I wish you'd stop pausing it so much. Those pauses are necessary. There's a reason why you've got reactors who take and pause every 5, 7, 10 seconds. It's because they're taking and interjecting their commentary and their critique, and they're taking either pointing out something on the video, or they're taking and actually breaking down either what they see in a scene, what they're hearing in a song, or something related to what's going on in that particular 7 to 10 seconds before they actually press that pause button. And the reason why is fair use standard, copyright. All right. And it's still a very thin line on as far as what's acceptable and what's not, as far as how YouTube goes about actually enforcing it. So just know going in, if you do a reaction channel, you're at risk for claims and strikes. Claims, blocks, and strikes, excuse me. But that's part of the risk that you're going to take regardless of what you're reacting to. I mean, unless you're taking and doing book reviews, which falls under a whole nother niche, you're going to run into that. But look at other reactors within the reactor niche. See what they're reacting to. take and maybe find a way to differentiate. Like if you want to take and react to music, find a way maybe to take and differentiate yourself from other reactors that are also reacting to music, because a lot of reactors react to the same people. When I started doing reactions, I reacted to music. I think my first music reaction was actually a review of a reaction to a live Linkin Park song from a concert that they did. I knew the song, but I'd never seen that particular concert clip whatsoever. So, which for me was surprising because I'm pretty die-hard Linkin Park fan. But I went from there, and I had somebody actually, my wife took and recommended somebody for me to react to. I had somebody that does rap over on the West Coast of the U.S. reach out to me and go, hey, could you take a look at one of my songs? I had somebody on another video that I reacted to that was reacted by, or that was requested by somebody in the comments, and it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was Akala's Fire in the Booth, the first one. And from that point on, I stayed specifically within the UK grime scene of reactions, because number one, it sounded so much different as far as the tone and what was being dropped, as opposed to what we hear in rap over here. Because a lot of times rap over here, it's nothing but straight up money, hoes, stuff like that. As far as the UK grime was concerned, it was all about how they grew up, how to take and actually how they've made their lives better, how they're trying to improve others' lives around them. Now, granted, there's a lot of gritty stuff within that that folks will take and classify as crap, or just classify as actual, just rap like the rest of it. But listening to the stories contained within, and that's what enthralled me. So that's the reason why I went down that. Find a way to differentiate yourself from other people react to the same type of stuff in that niche, in whatever reaction niche that you're getting into. So, because otherwise what's going to happen is you're going to get lost in the wash. I love listening to Upchurch. I like listening to Adam Calhoun. I like listening to Dax. I like listening to Tech Nine. Guess what? Whenever one of their songs come out, every other reactor that reacts to people that have a bigger following on YouTube than out on the streets are going to react to them. Even YouTube rappers like Crip, Screwface, and there's a whole list of other people. We Scheme, which We Scheme's not as big as some of the other ones, but I think he's one of the more talented ones. 500 other people are jumping on. So your chance of getting lost in the wash, you're going to have their fans take and run across your video. You're taking gain a couple of their fans and subscribers if they like the way you take and go about it. Doesn't matter if it's music, doesn't matter if it's movies, doesn't matter if it's culture. Find a way to take and differentiate yourself from other people, because that's the only way you're going to take it, in my opinion at least. It's the only way you're going to really set yourself apart from what everybody else is doing within a certain vein of a niche. You basically micro niche yourself a bit, which sometimes works really well, sometimes doesn't. But don't be afraid to take and branch out. If it's not if after 2-3 months, if it's not working the way you want it to, switch to something else. It's going to, granted, when that happens, you change gears, you're going to wind up taking and seeing a drop off in views and stuff like that, but eventually you keep at it, and you're going to take and get the views that you're wanting to see. It'll take and get back to where it was, and sometimes even more. So differentiate yourself. Find a way to differentiate yourself. And that really goes within any niche, but especially with reactions, find a way to differentiate yourself from other people. As far as myself and my channel goes, right now I've been fighting copyright stuff. And I'll be honest with you. The same, doing reactions the same way over and over and over and over and over again. I've started really looking more and more at how to take and editing techniques that I can use to keep things fresh for myself. As much as I love the stuff here behind me, I've got a wall over on the left-hand side next to my bed that I'm probably going to put every bit of this stuff on. I've got LEDs that I'm going to take and put at the top. And they're either going to be at the top, depending on how it looks shining down, or it's going to be at the bottom, and depends on how it looks shining up. But that's going to take and have a change. I've got a projector screen right here. I'm going to paint green, that I'm going to be using right here behind me for green screen effects, because I've got different ideas on how to take and keep things fresh for myself and ways to differentiate myself from other reaction channels. I've got stuff I'm gonna be changing around in my room, rigs I'm gonna be rigging up to so that way I can take it down, or I can actually, it's big enough that I can actually, yeah, it's big enough that I can actually put a portion behind me. It fits on screen, build a rig for the other part of it, put it over against the wall, take and point a camera at it, and use it in a different way, so I can do skits and stuff like that, or segments that I want to take and put in. Find a way to constantly improve, find a way to constantly push yourself, find a way to constantly, as much as possible, try to make yourself stand out. Will it be successful when I do all this stuff? I don't know. But you know what? I think it'd be worth it. I had fun doing the skits. I've got a ton more that I've got planned. It's just working them into stuff, or just finally saying, all right, I need to go ahead and do this so I can write down another skit. Always be authentic. Always find a way to differentiate yourself. And if you've got any questions, by all means, reach out to me. Reach out to me. I love taking and answering. I love trying to help as much as possible, because a lot of this stuff I had to learn basically either by doing research, or just trying and failing, or trying and be like, ooh, that works. So if you want to start a YouTube channel, if you want to start a reaction channel, if you want to make any kind of content, be any kind of be a content creator, influencer, go for it. Go for it. The only thing that's holding you back from doing so is you. That's it. You'll get over whatever stage fright that you feel you might have. You'll get over whatever inconsistencies you think you might have on camera, not being confident. All that stuff will come. You won't even feel comfortable with yourself until you get to about 30, 40 videos. I'm just being honest with you. You'll hate to hear your voice on camera probably the first 30, 40 videos, and after that you're like, well, it's just part of it. Just the time is now. Really ask for anything, but I'm applying it to YouTube. Hopefully this helps some of y'all. Hopefully, if you got any questions, put them in the comments. Let me know what you want to know. Y'all be good to each other. Love yourselves. Peace.